drowned in lies, where corruption and evil reign. This summer, the fight for truth continues. The Red Pill Project, Alpha Warrior, Defcon 0.
Another head hangs slowly, child is slowly taken. The violence causes silence. Who are we taking? Tents and their bombs and their guns and their guns. Your head, they're crying. Your head.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
About replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. There is nothing the political establishment will not do.
Defcon 0.
Ha 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 ha. Let me pull that off the studio right there. It gets me pumped up.
Dude, that song pumps me up so much.
It does. It does. Let me get this going. Where is it at? Here we go. Get the ticker going. Let everybody know. Oh, we're live for those that are wondering. August 5th, 2025. We are going to be taking calls at the end of tonight's show. And for those that were wondering, there was something that Reid had announced that they were going to be unfolding, and rather than get everybody kind of used to a way of calling in and then change it up on you guys again, just kind of was delaying it. And if Reid was going to take too long, you're talking about Reid for the Rodecaster Pro, which is a soundboard that I use. I think Josh has one as well. But now it's unleashed. Ran some tests on it today. It is awesome. It's going to bypass when you guys call in and someone else wants to call in, that beeping sound. And ultimately, when we get really comfortable with it, we can even take 2 callers with this new software that's in. So very excited for the tech future of Defcon 0. So I wanted to put that out. It's very simple directions. It's a 3-step process. Before the show ends, I will put it up there so you guys can see how to do it. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from a tablet. You can do it from a computer. It's very simple. Josh, you had no instructions prior to me sending you a message, and you figured it out in what, 30 seconds?
It was pretty easy, people.
Yeah,
it'll be pretty easy.
It'll be very simple. So in the meantime, I'll hand it over to Josh so he can say his hellos and intro. But do us a solid, folks. Smash the thumb, smash the heart, share the content out. You have put this show on the leaderboard every single week. That's right. And we're almost at like 300,000 views between 3 shows. That is a testament to you guys. So again, whether you're watching on X or YouTube or Rumble, share this content out, bring people in. And with that, my intro rant is done. Josh, it's all yours. What do you got to say to everybody, brother?
Bro, I don't know if people realize this. I put out a post the other day on X, and I didn't expect it, but one of our cohorts in the community went and put it on his show. And that was X22. So it was pretty cool that he called out. But also, I want people to understand the significance of what I was saying in that message. Q is being validated in real freaking time. I don't know if people realize this or see this. I want to show everybody something. There's a lot of different kind of symbolism in Q that people don't really know the name of, and decoders have tried for years to kind of say, maybe it's this, or this is happening, right? Alvin, do you remember D5?
Vaguely. You've
So-
mentioned it to me before,
Yeah.
but please continue.
D5, darkness, all this stuff. Q has mentioned D5 many different times. And there's been great speculation of what D5 was. Now, I did a decode on this 7 years ago. And when we talked about D5, we talked about what it was. And, you know, you wait for moments like this. Now, number one, if people are wondering what D5 is, you have to go to the Q boards and you have to understand.
I'm gonna interrupt
post.
you. I'm gonna interrupt you real quick.
Sure.
Rumble rants we'll save for the end of the show, but when the gifted subscriptions come in, I'm gonna shout those out because those disappear. I don't want to forget them. Shout out Breadmaker62, gifted 5 subscriptions, and I also want to take advantage. I hope you're doing a lot better with that. You've been in everybody's prayers, Breadmaker. So D5, please continue, Josh.
Sure. And I just want to set the precedent for today's show because we're going to be seeing exactly this. So this is right here, the post that everybody needs to pay attention to about D5. And you might be saying like, no, what are you talking about? We're talking about Queen Fox 3, Q Fox 3, Q's like impressive A-Not, but that was not hitting it. What you have to understand is this is the birth of what's known as the deadly martial attack. Now, if you don't know chess and you haven't researched a martial attack, okay? The opening is a Spanish game, Ruy Lopez against Marshall. The typical moves are E4 to E5, NF3 to NC6, and it goes on to the 8th move. The 8th move is where the table turns. The 8th move is C3 to D5, all right? Move 8, the black sacrifices its pawn with D5 to rapidly open the center and attack white's king. Okay, so what we're talking here is a chess move, but it has dual meaning and context. Now, do you know the classifications of avalanches?
No, I do not.
So avalanches go from D0 to D5. D5
Really?
being the most powerful of the avalanches. So in chess, D5 is a bold central strike that changes the balance of the game, preferably with a martial attack, which I just showed you on the Q boards. It forces your opponent out of their prepared lines, opening the board for decisive action. Symbolically, it represents the breaking of the deep state's positional control through FISA exposure and through going mainstream. The D5 and avalanche effect. In avalanche classification, D5 is the largest possible, powerful enough to flatten everything in its path. It represents a chain of reaction of disclosures. Once the keystone of evidence, FISA abuse, Durham annex, whistleblowers is fully revealed, there is no stopping the collapse of the false narrative. In other words, nothing can stop what's coming. I want you to listen to what Stephen Miller said just the other day. This is what made me bring this up, because Stephen Miller is definitely honing in on the Q boards. Listen to this.
Hour and the moment for accountability so that we can reclaim this democracy, Maria.
Well, do you believe we will actually get accountability? We've been demanding accountability now for a decade. Our audience is well aware that this is the biggest political scandal we have ever seen, and an effort to undermine and take down a duly elected president. But now we want to see the tricksters face the consequences. Will they?
I have complete confidence in the Department of Justice to follow these facts, to follow this new, further avalanche of evidence.
What did he just say?
Avalanche of
To follow
evidence.
these facts, to follow this new, further avalanche of evidence.
They're
I like
telling us straight up what's
I like
going on.
the color he chose.
What did Cash Patel just say? He said that, hey, I'm now director of the FBI. You remember when they sent the FBI knocking on my door? I get a letter in the email from Google about how they're investigating me. Now I'm the FBI director, and we're releasing it all. More to come.
You know that lined up with Q Post too, right?
That's right. But and this is the big thing I want everybody to see. What you saw last week with the Durham annex and the T1 whistleblower, that was the beginning. That isn't even the tip of the frigging iceberg, people. What you're about to find out, what is about to be revealed, is going to shock you to your core. It all leads further out. You, as Q would say, you have more than you know. And we've seen this correlated with Scavino's timestamps and Trump's timestamps this week that correlate to each other. Now, today is August 5th, Alpha, and I know you're going to go over August 5th timestamps, but I'm going to pull one up that is significant here. This one. August 5th, 2018.
There you are. That's the main one.
Post 1816. FISA. Why is FISA repeated 3 times? How many FISA warrants were there? Carter Page, General Flynn, Stephanopoulos, right?
Right.
3 FISA warrants. FISA. 20 in kill brackets. Kill brackets are to bring attention. 20 people conspired within the government. Rod Rosenstein, McCabe, Comey, Lynch. You have Obama. You have Brennan. You have Clapper. You have Clinton. You have Wasserman Schultz. You have 20 people involved. Mishpud, all of these guys. 20 people involved. There is a reason why we needed to go mainstream prior to the evidence being dropped. What does he mean? He's talking about Q. He's talking about there's a reason why we have Q prior to this evidence coming out. In other words, future proves the past. You have more, he repeats it. You have more than you know. Future proves the past. That whole point right there. There's a reason why we needed to go mainstream prior to the evidence being dropped. You have more than you know. Future proves the past. Understand, they had to set this precedent. We had to take back the idea of information. We had to take back the domain of information. We had to devour the mainstream media, which we have. Then he says D5 today. What is D5? The most powerful avalanche, as Stephen Miller just said, that wrecks everything in its path. Nothing can stop it. It's also a chess move used in the Marshall attack, which is referenced directly on the Q boards in move number 8 specifically, where the ultimate sacrifice comes about, and then the attack on the king happens. Where we go one, we go all. Buckle up.
You know, let me ask you this. What do you think that sacrifice looks like?
That sacrifice was 2020. That sacrifice was the 4 years, the 2020 election. Why? Because I caught them red-handed. Let's jump a piece in here. You remember when we went over Emerald Robinson's report in reporting that she was talking about a few weeks ago? Remember how I told you all of this is going to come to a head. All of this is going to come into view all at the same time. Everything is interrelated and interconnected. I'm going to prove that tonight. But listen to this. This is Lindell TV, but this is Emerald. Listen to what Emerald says right here. Oh, I gotta pull it up. Sorry. Listen to what Emerald says.
Miami Herald is reporting that federal prosecutors in the Southern District of Florida are accusing indicted Smartmatic executive Roger Piñate of bribing a key election official in Venezuela. That's in addition to the money laundering and bribery charges related to the Philippines. In a new court filing, prosecutors allege that Piñate gifted a house complete with a pool to one Lucina Ramirez. Ramirez was, before her death, the president of Venezuela's National Electoral Council, which allowed her broad authority over the country's controversial voting system and its private vendors.
So let's just stop there for that one. One of Smartmatic's senior executive officers has been arrested and detained in Florida. When does a bird sing? He's going to be facing 20 years in prison. When does a bird sing? Why would he sing about Smartmatic? Oh, well, we know why he would sing about Smartmatic. Because it's all interrelated and interconnected. How you can attach Smartmatic to what just happened, to FISA. Did you know you can directly attach Smartmatic to FISAgate?
Tell me how.
Well, glad you asked, Alpha. So I wrote this blog on my Substack. Everybody look right there, redpillproject.substack.com. It's called The Durham Annex They Never Thought She Would Lose. Okay? Do you know who Lord Mark Malloch Brown is?
No, that name doesn't sound familiar.
So remember, go back to the Durham Annex and what just came out in the Durham Annex. This was an email on July 27th, 2016, sent to someone in the Clinton Foundation, right? From the Open Society Foundation, George Soros' foundation, from Leonard Bernardo, who is one of the executives over there at the Open Society Foundation. And he says, HRC has agreed, Julie has said that HRC agreed to the Trump-Russia smear campaign. This is Julianne Smith. Julianne Smith is the foreign policy advisor for Hillary Clinton's campaign at this time, who, by the way, is directly connected to George Soros' Open Society Foundations. Okay? Bernardo goes on to say, although we don't have evidence of the Russian collusion, we're going to have CrowdStrike and Threat Connect create the media for it. So this goes to the CrowdStrike server in Burisma in Ukraine. That's why Trump in 2018 was impeached, because he asked Zelensky for it, the CrowdStrike server, Burisma. I want to have my DOJ look at it. This is the server he's talking about, because that was in this email, them setting up the dirt against Donald Trump to try to steal the 2020 election or the 2016 election. But so now you have Open Society Foundation's George Soros directly connected to the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and Hillary Clinton. Now, it's interesting to note June 27th, 2016, because that's the same day as the Clinton tarmac meeting with Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, where they basically discussed dropping the email case. July 4th, Hillary Clinton spends the weekend with James Comey. July 5th, he drops the email case. July 7th, Hillary Clinton's on a plane to South Carolina with Barack Obama. July 31st, the Russiagate investigation is open to Donald Trump. Timeline matters here, right? But understand that one of the precursors to FISAgate was the Open Society Foundations by George Soros coming in and helping to set it up and basically developing the whole scale. Now, this isn't being talked about yet because it's not there yet. But now, Donald Trump survives the Mueller investigation. He survives impeachment number 2. It's coming into the 2018 midterms. What do we see in the 2018 midterms? George Soros goes out there and funds Secretary of State's and Attorney General's campaigns throughout the country, primarily Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, New York. Those states ring a bell from 2020? Makes sense. Why? Because those are the same states in 2020 that when COVID hit, that had the Secretary of State unconstitutionally change the election laws to allow mail-in ballots and mail-in ballot drop boxes, where NGOs then ran scams pumping that full. China was involved in this. Albany FBI office found China was altering driver's licenses to create fictitious citizens so that they could generate mail-in ballots to the drop boxes for Biden. So now we go back, and who was the one company that helped take over the 2020 election, to steal the 2020 election? We just saw that the Open Society Foundation, George Soros, funded the Secretary of State and allowed COVID as the emergency measure to do it, which means that they knew COVID was coming. And there's direct connection to all of that. But the first thing you have to understand is Smartmatic and Dominion were the company that stole the election on the digital ballot side. Why? After midnight, 100% of all votes in those states specifically didn't register fraud. We know Serbia, we know Venezuela, right? Smartmatic's Venezuela. The chairman from 2014 to 2020 of Smartmatic was also an executive board member of the Open Society Foundations by the name of Lord Mark Malloch Brown. Mic drop. Lord Mark Malloch Brown was a board member of the Open Society Foundations and chairman of Smartmatic. At the time, all of that happened. So how does FISAgate take down George Soros, lead the George Soros, open the door to the 2020 election fraud, lead to the exposure of COVID-19, 2018 midterms? And by the way, for everybody out there, FISAgate was a coup to cover up their treason before Now, I know there's a lot of people listening out there, and I know our friends are out there listening. I hope they got a pen and they're taking notes because they're going to have to pay attention because they just don't do it like we do it, Alpha.
They don't. And we're going to come back to this conversation through some of the things that I have listed that I want to get there too. But I had a post lined up that you had brought up, and let me make this bigger for the audience. And for those that are wondering, what about the ads? We'll be doing the ad reads before we take the calls. So just so you guys know, and don't worry about it. You put out this post on August 2nd.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna bring it up on the screen so you can see it.
Very rare my poster showed.
I'm bringing it up, brother. And you said earlier we had Trump posts with focused on Hillary through timestamp. Now Scavino with an 810 timestamp. What is it? The traitor sold saps. Yes, exactly. Hillary, FAFO. There's the post. Do you want to break this down? Because this kind of ties into the conversation with the emails from last week to bridge us into this week.
Oh, yeah.
And the Scavino thing's going to come up again later. So if you want to cover this, because it'll matter towards the end of the show with some other things that I want to bring up.
Yeah, let me, the first thing I need to do is I need to bring up the Trump post in reference. So let me go bring that post up real quick, because this Scavino post happened right after Trump posted something that led to a different timestamp.
And the reason, and bring it up. And while you're doing that, you guys got to understand something. With the timestamps they're doing right now, they are doing them to perfection in order during the day with different markers. And that is wild to see the way they're doing it. And you got to kind of expand outside of some of the ones we've been checking in. And I'll explain that a little bit later in the show when we get to it. But go ahead and bring that up, Josh.
The Democrats are extortionists who almost destroyed our country. Now we are back, and the USA is the hottest country anywhere in the world. Make America great again. 8/2/2025. Now, interesting choice of words there, Donald Trump. So he uses hottest, right? Hottest. And then we're looking at a timestamp. I believe this is 6:31 p.m. So it's 18:31 because I'm on Central Time. So 18:31. Does POTUS make statements that are false? Knowing what you know, start at 12 minutes. Think Haiti, 1440. Think Watergate Commission, remove. Why investigate? Listen carefully. Truth. Surrounded by evil, never stop praying. Where we go, one we go all. Now, he also said that what? Hottest, right? Well, Congress is away. The month of August 2nd, is traditionally a very hot month. Nature is unpredictable. We correlated this with Speaker Johnson last week saying, well, we're taking a recess because August is traditionally a very, very hot month in Washington, D.C. We have Trump reiterating it, but it goes to a video, Alpha.
And this is, and I want to remind people, this is the video that I had queued up for you on one of the last episodes that we did where he's roasting him. So go ahead and fire off.
Well, this is really important because he lays it all out here, and you don't know what all of this means until probably this last few years.
I'd like to address an important religious matter, the issue of going to confession, or as Hillary calls it, the 4th of July weekend with FBI Director Comey.
This is 2016. He's not even president yet, and guess what he knows? He knows the timeline of FISA-gate. He's not even president yet. This is 2016. He knows the timeline. Hillary Clinton going to confession with James Comey July 4th weekend. What did I just tell you? June 27th, we have the email from the Open Society Foundations, which basically sets up the whole scam for Russiagate. We have the meeting on the 26th, the next day with Loretta Lynch, the Clinton Tarmac meeting. Then on July 4th weekend, Hillary Clinton meets with James Comey. July 5th, he drops the email case. Boom. Trump is saying this in September. Listen more.
Now, real quick before you hit play, I wanted the audience to know. Josh didn't know I was going to bring this up. Just so you guys understand, this is how much that we put in. I give Josh a call earlier today and say, hey, this is some of the stuff I want to cover. I'll be going this route here. Oh, I'm going to cover some of this stuff. And it's like a 5-minute call because we just know that we're going to feed off each other's synergy. I'm telling you guys, when Josh was laying out the opening right now, I was just like, people are going to think that I gave him a heads up on this next post because it's going to come into that. So continue on because I want people to see this play out.
Well, listen to what he says next.
Now, I'm told Hillary went to confession before tonight's event. But the priest was having a hard time when he asked her about her sins, and she said she couldn't remember 39 times.
39 times. How many special access program Orcon emails were found through the Huber and Horwitz investigation, through Inspector General McCullough's investigation that Hillary Clinton was involved with sending that Jake Sullivan gave her access to? 39. He's not even president, and he knows. Why? Because he was read in. He was activated by the U.S. military, by generals who cared about this country and who understood what was happening. Now, I'm not going to let it go further because that just proves the point of what I'm trying to show you. But so that's Trump's post. And then Scavino posts that one timestamp that you have. So bring that timestamp back up.
Let me go. Here we are. I'll bring it back to the top so people can see it.
Yep.
8:10.
So earlier we had the Trump post, which we just showed you. Right? So Dan goes, fuck around and find out. This timestamp leads to this one right here, which is what's the hit the post. Click on the post.
It is
8:10.
8:10,
February 22nd,
2018.
Yep. The trader sold saps, 39 of them. How do you break up something this big? What happens if low, mid, senior people, not corrupt patriots, learn they were sold out? What happens? Who is waiting with open arms, with a plan to reorg under a single entity with direct OS by trusted patriots? Who are trusted patriots who understand intel collection? He's talking about the formation of generals that came about because of the SAP programs. Everything that I laid out in that first show about stolen military secrets, people, that's what that post is about. That's how it all started. And they're showing us, they're giving us a lineage of all of this. Now go ahead and pull up your next one because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bang.
So with going into that, we go into here. You have Dan Scavino today. And this is Trump on the roof. You saw this roof conversation comes into play, pretty frequently today. But you have Scavino post this, and this is on his personal. And if you guys have noticed, Scavino has two accounts. He has his government one, his personal one. The government one, he has it tactical blacked out. His personal one, he has it lit up. Light to dark, dark to light. Consider it. Nonetheless, it's a very distinct difference that he's chose with this profile pictures. I want to bring that to your guys' attention. But here you go. You got Trump on the roof, and this is 12:01 my time. So this is going to be 15:01 military time, right? Mm-hmm. So if we go to 15:01, it's dated June 15th, 2018. It has a bike in there with the Google colors. But in the middle, it says, Axis kills. POTUS is in good spirits today. Morning strolls are refreshing. 2.5 hours queue. Again, there's Google. Mm-hmm. And there's that one. Well, Trump was taking a stroll on top of the White House.
Now he was asked, what is he doing?
And he said, I'm going for a walk.
Going for a morning walk.
Going for a morning walk.
Just taking a morning stroll.
And so, now, let me go here. When you go to this one, this is Dan Scavino again. Mm-hmm. And you go to the timestamp here, 11:59, right? So 12/1/259, so 14:59 hours. And that takes you to the post that's inside the one that we just went through. So it was one of those things. If you think that maybe it was coincidental, no. Because you got to remember, there's only 4 minutes. Let me bring up the first one. You have this one at 12:01, and then you have this one at 11:59. So what, a 2-minute difference. Mm-hmm. So that means he had to time these posts perfectly to get these other two posts that are on the board to mimic each other perfectly in sequence.
Now I love it because here's where it gets even more boggling and interesting. Scavino this weekend in 8:3. posted this guy. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's mine. He posted this one right here. And he's been doing this all weekend. You notice he's been posting these videos from Washington, D.C. For people out there wondering, he's been posting these videos. This one, he says, 8/3/2025, Washington, D.C. This is at 11:49. Clinton tarmac meeting audio. Listen to this. This is post 11:49. Think timing. Loretta Lynch remains Attorney General, HRC. HRC appoints new AS replacement. RBG steps down. Loretta Lynch steps up. New AG, the plan Q. Now, what are they talking about there? They're talking about the Clinton tarmac meeting, which was just referenced a day before in the last post that he made in the other timestamp about selling stamps and Trump's post to correlate. They're focusing on Hillary Clinton. Now, Loretta Lynch, they're talking about, was promised a SCOTUS seat. RBG was going to step down. Loretta Lynch was going to get the attorney generals if she stopped the campaign against Hillary Clinton. And here's the images that go about with this one. So we have, again, Scavino reiterating. He did another one on 8/4. Did you see this one?
Bring it up.
Another drone coverage of Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Right? 8/4. Posted at 1753. Scavino, 1753 timestamp. Foundation. Remember when I told you we have to build a foundation of information, and that's what they're doing with all this? 1753. Foundation. Bottom to top. Layers. FISA equals foundation. The start. People are more aware of current events, established link. Think criminal illegal acts to prevent overturned presidential election opponents. Public awareness. Evidence introduced. Mainstream media covert links. Think Sessions open statement, leak investigations. How do you build a home? Foundation to structure. Layers. Hubert. Layers are uranium-1, Iran, human trafficking, Haiti, corruption, etc., etc. Logical thinking. What did I just show you between Trump and Scavino's post? One Trump post led to his speech where he's talking about Haiti. He's talking about selling stamps. He hints at uranium-1. He hints at Hillary Clinton's scandals and money paid for play. Then we have Scavino going out there and then driving it home, talking about the Clinton-Lynch tarmac meeting, talking about SAPs. Then he puts this one out there. Understand that we have to build a foundation, bottom to top. We have to put the information out first and then build upon it. This is what the Q posts were meant for, people. Times like this to help you understand and navigate.
Yes, and I brought up, I had two posts that I wanted to bring up. So with that timestamp of the second one, where Scavino shows Trump on the roof, which gave us the 11:59, 12:59, 1:59, 2:59, so the 14:59 hours. I want to bring that post up now, the 14:59 one for the military time, because I want to get your take on this one right here. And let me make it bigger so you guys can see this on the screen right here. 14:59, it's dated June 11th, 2018. The post within the post reads, quote, asked about the letter, however, a DOJ official said Rosenstein is currently representing the United States in a brief unrelated visit to a foreign nation, one of America's key intelligence partners, end of quote, indicating he would plan on responding during the previously scheduled briefing on Thursday. Has a link to Fox News. The statement should ring alarms. Hint, those responsible for spying, Five Eyes, are present. Panic. Q. This image is on there. And then obviously it has the digits at the bottom.
That's right. Rod Rosenstein.
And we know somebody was in New Zealand, I think yesterday or the day before.
Cash Patel.
Cash Patel, because they just opened a new office that's out there. Now, a lot of people, here's my take on that. And there's a lot that goes into this because, and I would tell people, you can go watch my show from last night because I don't want to really deviate from where we're going tonight. But a lot of people took Cash opening a Washington field office in New Zealand as part of the Five Eyes the wrong way. So what I'll say is, you want the details of my take on that, watch my show last night. But here's what I'll give the back of the book version. If we understand that remember, for Trump to take down this system, he had to take down the financing. So what did he do? He went after USAID. He went after the National Endowment Fund, NED. He went after these different avenues that we know that they've been facilitating money to feed the beast, to feed the deep state, the cabal. What's the next thing that he did? You got to go after the rank and file. He had Pam Bondi designate the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations because you got to be able to take down the guys that are facilitating these. These are the ones doing the human child trafficking. These are the ones doing the hits. Think Seth Rich. These are the ones that this is the muscle. So he attacked the money. He attacked the rank and file, the muscle. What else do you got to attack in this formula? Their intelligence. And if we know, what has Five Eyes been utilized for? Well, we can't violate the Constitution, but if you can spy on our people and give us the info, and we'll spy on your people and give you the info, and we'll do this circle of we'll do the information for each other, we'll do it. So what did Cash do going to the Washington field office? And there was a significant resignation that came a day or two after his visit there in New Zealand. I got to go and look up the name of that. But nonetheless, this was him saying, you ain't going to be able to do it no more.
That's right.
We just intervened in Five Eyes because they're going to get under control. So this landed here real quick. They went after the money, they went after the muscle, they went after the intelligence. You got to accomplish all these things. The next thing that I said, Josh, and I told people, and I think we talked about it too, for a marker, before you see these arrests, you have to see moves on the courts. We saw an introduction to that with the judges that were trying to support the people in the illegals, and then we just see one that happened 2 days ago, where they just went after a judge for making comments against President Trump. And if again, just to recap, because it's important, they went after the money, USAID, and NED.
And they also decimated the deep state infrastructure that was left behind. That they started firing people and they reduced agencies. They got rid of agencies. They got rid of people. Remember that. I want to show people something here. Now, Alpha, I like being right because it helps me kind of validate like things, right? I want everybody to listen to John Solomon here. All right? Listen to John Solomon and what he says right here. And I'm going to show you some things because it's really, really important to remember here.
This is a major development. We told you last week that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, had given permission for a strike force to begin. That's a very specific tool the Justice Department uses on major conspiracies. And we told you then we would know it was getting serious when the grand jury jumped into action. We now know that a grand jury will be impaneled. Most likely, my sources are telling me it could be in Florida.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. That's John Solomon yesterday. Let's pull up Josh's post from July 19th. Look at this shit.
You got to bring it on the screen.
I'm bringing it up. Fizegate and Epstein, something big is about to happen. Matt Gaetz flew into D.C. at Trump's personal request, skipping Turning Point 712 event Saturday to meet privately with the president. Insiders say he's being tapped as a special prosecutor. He's no longer a congressman. He's a licensed attorney, and under DOJ regulations, he qualifies. Pam Bondi plus Trump plus Gaetz equals strategic legal strike force. Oh, it's just weird, huh? And here's the kicker. The DOJ and the FBI have been building a criminal conspiracy case spanning from 2016 to 2024. This case is targeting those who sabotage Trump using lawfare, blackmail, and foreign collusion. Fizegate, Russia. This was treason at the highest level. Everything from the last few weeks and months has been setting the stage. Oh, and yes, the Epstein Files network are reportedly tied into all of this. Epstein was the keystone. FISA was the what? Foundation. Epstein is the keystone. You guys see, Q? FISA is the foundation. Epstein is the keystone. Not just for the island crimes and trafficking, but for how blackmail has been weaponized against the Trump witch hunts. There's a potential for indictments to be filed in where? Where did I say that?
Florida.
What did John Solomon just say?
Florida.
Florida could be the battlefield, DC potentially being bypassed, and the chess pieces are moving fast. Watch the next 7 to 14 days. This was 2 weeks ago.
To the day, baby.
Guys,
to the day.
I'm telling you, whoever Josh is talking to is spot on. Now, I want to show you something very interesting here, because it's not only that, Alpha. There's so much more confirmation coming. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just trying to tell you that we're giving you guys some very, very accurate decodes and information here. Look at Catherine Herridge today, noting extraordinary overlap. Several witnesses relevant to the Clinton emails, Trump-Russia collusion, and what's that last one say?
Epstein files.
What did I just say in this last one?
The
Oh, and
Epstein
yes,
files.
the Epstein Files Network are reportedly tied into all of this. FISA Foundation, Epstein, Keystone. And what does Catherine Herridge say right here? Oh, extraordinary overlap. Because James Comer subpoenaed a bunch of people. The House Oversight Committee is compelling the following individuals to appear for depositions through the issue subpoenas. They've also subpoenaed the FBI for the Epstein documents. Who was subpoenaed? The same people that are currently being implicated, many of which are being implicated in FISAgate. Bill and Hillary Clinton, Merrick Garland, James Comey, William Barr, Robert Mueller, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder. But wait, who did I say was going to be making a return, Alpha?
Jeff Sessions.
Who's testifying August 28th?
Jeff Sessions.
You can't make this shit up.
Hold on. Keep Sessions highlighted. Keep Sessions
Oh, I
highlighted.
will.
Because I had this tapped in towards the back end of this, but we can go into it now just to keep it fluid. Who was somebody that got called back to the White House, an official that was going to work under Sessions, I think as his aide, if I remember correctly. Very important name that me and you both said last week is going to be
Ezra Cohen-Watnick?
Ezra Cohen-Watnick. If you folks don't see what's like unfolding here, just slow down. Just slow down, because it's the guessing game's done, folks. Like it's right here in the names. Here's the other thing. Did you notice how many names we were given? I'll save everybody the math. There's 10 names. 10 dates. Is this, we've always kind of, there's 10 days. We've always looked at the 10 days as sequential.
Well, Alpha, let me ask you this. The date they chose for Jeff Sessions is August 28th, right?
Right.
What are the odds that there's a Q post about Jeff Sessions from August 28th? What are the odds? What do you think?
I went through these, and I would say that I would absolutely think that there's a post for him there. But I know that there was one that was absent, but I don't remember if it was Sessions or Barr, but one of them didn't actually have a post on their day. And I want to say everybody else had something relevant to them on that day. So it made me wonder. Go ahead.
August 28th.
You have to zoom in.
Number 21.
My eyes aren't what they used to be, brother.
Oh, okay. Number 21 through 25, right here. August 28th. Judiciarysenate.gov talking about the appointment of a special counsel. If I could do a dual share here. We'll open up this first document. And this first document jumps in, and here it is right here. We'll go ahead and zoom in on this document. I'm going to pull it up for everybody right now. United States Senate. This is through Utah. What is this? Who's that right there at the top?
That'd be Jeff Sessions.
That's right. And who's he talking to? Dear Attorney General Judge Sessions and Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein. This is from the Utah special prosecutor that Session appointed, Huber. Huber investigated who? Clinton. Understand, guys. There's a rhyme and a reason and a purpose for everything. Now, go back to the Q boards. The same time around Durham came about, Q says, what if Sessions appointed another special prosecutor, one that was unknown to DC? We still don't know who that is.
And here's the article, just to read it to people. This comes from April 11th of here. I'll just bring it up on the screen. I'm not going to read the whole thing. This was the New York Times. And April 11, 2018, Washington, a former American intelligence official who came under intense scrutiny during a stint at the White House last year is returning to the government as the National Security Advisor to Attorney General Jeff Sessions. According to a person familiar with the decision, the official, Ezra Cohen-Watnick, will play an important role at the Justice Department, advising Mr. Sessions on counterintelligence and counterterrorism.
Well, I got another boom for you. This is July 9th, 2019, 3386. But I think this is important. You didn't think the Epstein investigation began a few months ago, did you? It was all under the direction and oversight of who? Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Expect a lot more becoming public unsealing. Barr not recused from Epstein pending cases only passed. Democrat fight coming, liberal outrage coming, Pelosi's daughter inserted, counter made simple. Who are two people that are going to testify there? Jeff Sessions, Bill Maher. Jeff Sessions is the one who originally started it, who knows the chain of custody of the evidence of the Epstein case because he had it, which then Bill Barr came in, and we know that evidence disappeared and compromise for Trump came
in. So, one, shout out to the audience on Rumble. Over 4,000 people watching over there. We got over 1,200 on the other platforms. Do us a favor while you guys are watching. Help us with the algorithm. Smash the thumb, smash the heart. Leave a comment. We have been reading through the comments. I have something that I'm going to pose to Josh at the end of the show today. I have it on my notes, so I won't forget. And it's going to involve you guys in the comments. So be active in the comments. You guys will like it. To bring it back to this White House just taking a walk. Let me bring this up on the screen. And it's going to keep interlooping, folks. And it's going to loop back. It's going to go forward. It's going to loop back. That's just the way these last few days have been with these people. But when let me bring it up on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is the White House. The White House does this post, just taking a little walk. Obviously, they're on the roof of the White House. There's President Trump right there. If you guys can see my mouse, this is at 11:41 my time. So that's 12:41, 1:41. That's 2:41 or 14:41 East Coast. So if we go and take a peep at post 1441, it's dated June 10th, 2018. And I wanted to get your take on this, Josh, because this comes into a conversation we had about 2 weeks ago. But it's a photo here. I'm not familiar with that location. If you are,
Well, that is Singapore.
This one right here.
That's right.
Okay, and then it has another one, which is this one right here. And I'm thinking, is that Singapore or is that Sydney? I'm thinking, is that still Singapore?
I'm pretty sure that's Singapore.
Oh, it is.
That
Yeah,
that goes back to July 10th, 2018, where Trump was going to meet with Kim Jong-un.
And so it brings us
you
to
see
this.
Sing F2F lock top.
And
the
so,
name of the images. Yep.
Start the clock, gotcha. Okay. And so here we got start the clock, a week to remember, think logically, first private, class 5 and 6, second public, Blackwater on guard, evidence kills. These people are stupid. Make this make sense for me.
All right. Well, the timestamp could just be random, but I don't think it is on this one. So when was that post posted? Was it posted today or yesterday?
This post comes from today. This is with the Scavino post with the roofing and all that, except this is the White House that did it. And that's why I was just like, okay, are we broadening our horizons on what we're looking? Because typically I wouldn't go to the White House for a timestamp, but consistently I'm starting to see something there with the White House. But anyway,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So, and you're going to love this because it's part of the title today. Go back to that photo from the White House. Who's in that photo?
Dead center right here is President. Let me make it bigger for everybody. Dead center here, we got President Trump. Have no idea who this is. This dude up here looks like Secret Service.
But what are they doing? They're taking a little walk, right? They're taking a trip. Yeah. They're taking a little trip, right?
Okay, now you're going into the post where I think you're going.
So they're taking a little trip because if you go to August 5th, 2018 post.
Yes.
Trip update.
Bring it up.
Oh, let's do this.
Now,
if anybody doesn't know what these mean, you have trip update and trip confirmed that happened there. Trip update confirmed. Then you go back, you got trip update. Donald Trump's taking a little trip, isn't he? Now, what does trip update and trip confirm mean? We're talking about Q validating his trip and his encryption on the boards. Right?
Right.
So this was 8chan during this point in time, and validating his trip basically is validating that he is legitimately the Q. Now, Donald Trump has the White House post this photo. Scavino doesn't post it. The White House does. Of him taking a little trip around Washington, D.C. In other words, could we be seeing the return of Q?
Yes. That's the direction I want us to go. So let me go to if we go to
And by the
standard-
way, there's also more that comes about from this day, August 5th. There's a lot of nuggets out there. Be aware. Oh, awesome. This one.
bring it up.
This one absolutely 100% falls in line. 1817, August 5th. Number one is fellow patriots, you're about to learn should not only scare you, but intensify your resolve to take back control of freedom. The information will become public with further demonstrate criminal, corrupt, pure evil, abuse of power that the Hussein administration undertook in efforts to, with domestic and foreign dignitaries. The snowball has began rolling. There is no stopping it now. D5, again, stay the course and trust the plan. Protective measures are in place. Remain brave. We knew this day would come. Now that matches the timestamp of which you showed right here. Go. I'm gonna remove this real quick. Add this back up there. Scroll down. Start the clock. A week to remember. Private. First private, now classified. Second public. Blackwater on guard. Evidence kills. These people are stupid. So now we have that reiterated here. But guess what? There's more. They posted a Donald Trump walking down Washington, D.C., right? Be aware of your surroundings. See something, say something.
So, I like to use
Not
military.
coincidence, people.
It's not
Come
coincidence, brother. And I like to use military time as primary, but just to go off information that was given to me, I was told don't discount standard time. When you study these posts. So, 1441.
So for everybody out there who's a decoder, AM time frames are typically in AM time or in standard time. Anything after noon, you can incorporate into military time. Basically the way it works. And then they'll have dual meaning. So in other words, you wouldn't take a morning post at 6 a.m. and then look at the 1800 posts for that 6 a.m. No. But a 6 p.m. post, you'll look at both the 600s and the 1800s.
100%. And that's what we're doing here. Since we're doing with a 2 o'clock hour, 241, we had 1441 and now we go to 241. So if we go to post 241 for 241 p.m., it brings up this one.
White House party, accordingly.
White House party with 400 plus guests. Whoever posted those insider pics did not take into account the many White House public and private security cams, which can triangulate and time log, identify the person responsible. We will investigate. Think. Q. Was a scroll on top of the White House an indicator? Because typically, where is the security cameras all going to be? It's going to be off of the eaves that are going off of the ceiling, the roof of a building.
Mm-hmm.
Are they walking around because they're looking at the surveillance in place? To go back to what you saw on the other post, see something, say something. We're talking surveillance here. We're talking.
It's crazy how they're all interlooping right now.
It's wild, bro. It's wild to me. So, moving on. Let me see this one. I want to see how this one's tied in. Oh, so then I typed in roof. There's only one post that has the word roof in all of the drops. And trust me, because it brings up, populate the proofs because it has the word roof in it. But there's only one post that actually has roof. This is post 2966. It's dated March 4th of 2019. And it reads this: Battery A, roof 1A. Battery F, ground 9G. Active, commence. Track report 2. Track confirmed 2. Negative 48. Dark. Now I'll put the 2 tracks. Is that signaling towards the trips? I don't know.
Well, it could. I mean, it could be a lot of different stuff that's happening in the backdrop that we don't know. When we start to look at what's kind of unraveling right now, the things that we need to see is that the future proves the past, the news unlocks. So when we start seeing timestamps correlating with various different Q posts, we have to look at them. Now, one of the first things I always say is that there has to be context. Now, battery A roof, battery F grounds, and G active commerce, track report, track confirm, negative 48 dark. You have different battery posts that are actually in Washington, D.C., old Army posts. And this could be what it's talking about is the various different camera systems that were active on those, which then correlates to that same picture that you're talking about, Trump walking through the streets of Washington, D.C. Track report, track confirm. Why would this matter? I think it matters because potentially what we're about to see come out in the next few days. Now, I want to pull this post up because I think that this helps.
Well, before you go to that one, -48. We're doing in the negative. So are we talking about something going dark for 2 days, 48 hours? Are we talking -48? Is it telling us to go back 2 days?
I think what they're talking about is this is a past event that something was caught on camera, and the camera footage was dark for 2 days, but the NSA grabs everything. Now, what could that be? Well, you got to remember what we've been talking about here. We got to remember Dr. Leonard Bernardo from the Open Society Foundation, who helped set all of this up. And what did he say? CrowdStrike will produce the compromise, will produce the dirt on the media side. Now, what do we know?
What? Then you just triggered this thought process in my mind, and this is why I love the way we work together. You just made me look at this through a completely different lens. -48 dark. That means we lost 2 days of surveillance because they compromised the surveillance footage of what we were looking at. So what is it saying? Track report, and it's saying 2, track confirmed 2. So we're looking at 2 reports. If battery A went down on the roof, there's report number 1. If battery F went down on the ground, there's report number 2. So this could be an indicator is look at the reports that are going to document these 2 battery locations, because that's going to give you the intel you're going to need on who made the surveillance go dark for 2 days or 48 hours.
That's right. Now, why does that matter? Because you got to remember everything we're talking about. Go back to the CrowdStrike thing I was just talking about. Did you know that CrowdStrike received a over $350,000 payment after a significant date, July 10th, 2016? And that payment was basically for the setting up of the server and the compromise. Now, I said this on my show tonight. I'm going to say it here tonight. What you're about to see drop is something that you never thought existed. I'm telling people that this is going to come, and it's going to come fast, and it's going to rock DC, because you're going to add murder into it. And what we're about to talk about here is that coordination with CrowdStrike and the DNC and Open Society Foundations led to murder. And this is what opens it all up. Now, what you're talking about there, battery, roof and ground, active commenced, 2 reports tracking, track and firm was dark for 48 hours. I think was video evidence that caught something, a murder. The murder of who?
Seth Rich.
His name was Seth Rich. Now, Seth Rich plugged the USB drive into the DNC computer and then took that information and gave it to WikiLeaks, which had all of the pay-for-play of Hillary Clinton. It had all of this information about CrowdStrike, everything, about how they wrecked Bernie Sanders and overthrew him, a coup inside the DNC. And Seth Rich died 4:20 a.m. Eastern Time on July 10th, 2016. On July 11th, CrowdStrike was wired over $350,000 from the DNC. Now, what happened? The DNC said their servers were hacked by who? Russia. The DNC said their servers were hacked by Russia. Now, go back to Leonard Bernardo's email where he says, CrowdStrike will provide the media for the Russia collusion. CrowdStrike received that money because they went in and injected code into the DNC server saying that Russia stole that information when it was really Seth Rich, and he was killed for it. Who killed him? MS-13. 2 weeks after, the 2 MS-13 gang members were killed in a fire in Maryland, tracking on the Q boards. So what could that camera footage be that we're talking about that was dark for 48 hours? In Georgetown, where Seth Rich was murdered brutally 9 times in the back, shot. It's probably on camera, people.
It is. And I'm going to bring something up because you know that I have been looking into this Seth Rich one. So give me one second.
And nobody else is putting that shit together, by the way. And for all those guys listening, take notes.
Pay attention. Pay attention.
Pay attention. Because when you go talk about it on your show like you figured it out, just remember you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Now I want to scroll down to something that I want to find.
I'm a
And-
cocky fucker when it comes to this stuff, but I can be.
Stay on it, baby. I love it. So while I'm looking for these photos, and right now, what I'll say just to protect Badlands and those associated with is I'm working off of a theory that I have. And in this theory, you guys know Michael Fanone. Now, let me make sure I know where I'm at on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I don't want to lose my place on that, bro. I got so many different browsers up, bro. But now I'm going to bring up a different one right here. So what you're looking at here is the hands of Michael Fanone, Metropolitan Police Officer Michael Fanone. He's the one that they tased me in the neck. Time Life put him on the cover, from January 6th in the Capitol. Now, if you all go look at Michael Fanone's hands on January 6th, you'll see that these tattoos on the back of his wrists don't exist. And here's what they read, folks. I'll take the money, that's on his right hand, and on his left hand, but these fools don't own me. This is post January 6th, folks. I'll take the money, but these fools don't own me. Take whose money? Why'd they pay you? And who doesn't own you? Now, why is that significant? Because during the time of Seth Rich's murder, Fanone was an undercover officer that worked into narcotics and gangs. Now, it so happens that that's where my experience and authority on subject matter comes in. And if I was a dirty cop, like the way the FBI wanted to treat me, if I was legitimately a dirty cop, guess what? I know who the trigger pullers are in my area of operation to facilitate a murder. Who are the ones that could be corrupt? Think Training Day and all these movies that you see where the law enforcement's corrupt.
And massive coordination in these gangs, by the way. This isn't like, yo, G, go and take out somebody. No. This is coordinated, organized crime. Now, 100%. It's interesting they added your Alpha. Do you remember a gentleman by the name of Jorge Luis Zerq Belancourt?
Belancourt.
Well, how about this? Do you remember this guy? I'll pull up his photo right now. Trump has been telling us all along, buddy. You got to remember. We got to remember. Kilmar Garcia. Sorry, Kilmar Garcia. Where was he a gang member of MS-13 at? What state?
What'd they say? Virginia, Florida, or Pennsylvania? I'm trying to remember. Maryland. Oh, okay.
Maryland. Where was the MS-13 gangmongers killed in 2016 after they killed Seth Rich? Maryland. Who was a young 14-year-old gang member during that time? Garcia. Why is he in a maximum security prison in El Salvador? Is he really there?
Why is all the dark side of Congress trying to save this guy? Why do they give two shits about him when he's a nobody?
Why did senators fly to El Salvador to try to get this guy out of El Salvador and back to the United States?
So,
because what does he have to say? Because everybody needs a middleman to communicate, from the DNC to George Soros Open Source Foundation into the gangs and the cartels.
So I'm going to hold off on this other image that I was going to show, but here's what I wanted to continue with where I was going with Michael Fanone, those tattoos. Michael Fanone was, I want to say, working out of District 1D in the metropolitan area. Seth Rich was killed in District 3D. These districts are adjacent to each other. They're right there. Now, with that, normally people say, well, it's a jurisdictional issue. No, it's not. Not for guys in a task force. We cover an entire area of operation because that's just the way these gangs go back and forth. What I'm thinking and what my theory is here was Fanone, and this is why Fanone had a role in January 6th, because he's already shown that he's compromised, is that Fanone is the one that provided, delivered, or gave the intelligence for the contract of the guys that killed Seth Rich. But you got to take out loose ends.
That's right.
Which is then taken care of by the guy you just brought up, who took out those guys to make sure those people don't talk.
Started the fire.
And so what does Fanon say? Hey, listen, you need to make me a main character. I'm going to testify before Congress. I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to go on CNN. I'm going to take this money, but you fools don't own me. As says his own tattoos on his own hands. Like I said, this is a theory that I'm working out, but there's so much information that goes into this with new tattoos that he's gone, fresh tattoos, and even one that people might be like, is he insinuating Seth Rich on that? So stay tuned. We'll continue on with that one. Let me take down this. I can bring it back to the browser that I was showing originally. Give me 1 second, folks.
And we're getting to that time, Alpha, where it's almost time to take calls.
I know. I'm trying to fly through this. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Here, I'll bypass that one. We'll go into this one. Okay. Let me bring this up on the screen for people to see now. We got Stephen Miller. If you guys heard Trump when he was doing his conference today, he reiterated Miller is a great guy. I hope you guys are listening to him. So I'm sure he's not just talking about the media. I'm sure he's talking about us. But today, Stephen Miller goes and posts, unheard of. The scale of this achievement is simply staggering. And of course, he's quote posting U.S. Border Patrol chiefs, numbers that are right there. He does it with the 1020 timestamp mine, which would be 11, 12, 1. So you're looking at a 120 or 1320. So if we go to post 1320, and I didn't share, I shared the tab, not the screen. So let me fix that so you guys can actually see what I'm showing you here. So if we go to timestamp 1320, let me bring it up on the screen for you now. It's dated May 8th, 2018. And it's a fairly long one, but it reads, today, evil lost control, leverage of Iran. Today, POTUS took control of Iran. Today, with pending sanctions and military actions, POTUS will gain more ammunition, intel against them. Suicide watch. The deal kept Iran quiet. The goal was to keep POTUS in until impeachment term end, bigger than people can imagine. Treason is 1/10. Ask yourself, why are they panicking? Ask yourself, why is UK, France, and Germany so involved? Trips to White House. What are they hiding? Why is HRC in New Zealand? Who was in New Zealand yesterday, the day before? Is NZ part of Five Eyes? Why is this relevant? Suicide watch. Fire off, brother. I know this one got you smiling.
So go to the top, please.
Yeah, I'm going to shrink it just a little bit. There we go. Get the whole thing.
Evil lost control and leverage. So we got to remember that Iran scandal was part of the biggest part of this. Now, over the last few months, what did we see? We saw a coup in Iran where good guys took back control over Iran inside Iran. We have factions rising up in Iran. I believe that the Ayatollah has been completely neutralized. I believe he's still alive, but I think he's been neutralized politically. And what have you noticed? Not much happening with Iran. They're not saying much. There's a few different types of rhetoric coming out, but not much. The Ayatollah has been very, very silent. And so what we have to understand is that we're saying is, well, look, number one is Iran's ties have been cut. Just like North Korea back in 2018, its ties were cut from who? The deep state, Brennan, Obama. Why? Because during a time like this right now, you notice how Iran happened before FISA began to release? If FISA happened first, Iran would have attacked Israel and we would have been in full-scale World War III.
I agree.
Right? So today, with the pending sanctions and military actions, POTUS will gain more ammunition and intel against them. Intel against them. Guys, when you go in there and you're negotiating with a country like Iran or North Korea, and they're telling you that, hey, look, no, Barack Obama came here and visited here, and we talked to Barack Obama, and this is what he promised us if we did this. This is what we mean by they have it all. The deal kept Iran quiet. The goal was to keep POTUS in until impeachment and then term end. Bigger than people can imagine. Treason is 1/10. Remember how I told you, like, FISA-gate and the treason they committed is just the smallest tip of the iceberg of what they were doing? Ask yourself, why are they panicking? Ask yourself, why is UK, France, and Germany so involved? Five Eyes. Five Eyes was involved in all of this. They knew all of this. Trips to the White House, what are they hiding? Why is Hillary Clinton in New Zealand, another Five Eyes country? Why is this relevant? Suicide Watch. Now, this was March 8th, 2018. I don't remember the context of the dates during the point in time, but I do know during that point in time from March to May is when we had compromising of U.S. military assets that were happening, which we'll probably cover on next week's show. And we'll talk about that because it's incredibly relevant to things that you and I have talked about and in China. And we'll get into the whole China part that time. But yeah, this is basically telling you right now that these deep state actors and globalists controlled entire nations, and we're feeding them weapons and nuclear weapon secrets for development, feeding them money, and that basically these rogue entities were their proxies and their insurance policies.
And who was in New Zealand, I think yesterday or the day before?
Kash Patel.
Director of the FBI, folks.
That's right.
Opening up.
Cooperating.
At least
New
the
Zealand
story
is
is
cooperating.
At least the story told to us is opening up a field office there. No, folks. He was taking stuff that we needed and he was laying down the law. He's letting them know we are now in controls. It is my opinion that Five Eyes is no longer in their control. That's the way I see it right now.
I think that you're right, because if you look at UK, France, Germany's going to be buying more U.S. energy than ever before. By the way, that cuts into Russia, and Trump did that to Russia because what Russia is doing with India. And so they are buying a lot of their energy from Russia. Now they're buying the majority of it from the United States, which crushes Russia's economy. But the UK is going to be buying U.S. energy. They're negotiating the deal. France, obviously part of the EU. We have that new tariff deal that came out there. And Trump is utilizing economic sanctions through tariffs, these deals, to control these people and compromise from Epstein to make these deals to keep them under control.
And you have Trump's guy that's going out to the Kremlin tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow or Thursday.
That's right. Howard Glutnick?
Yeah. No.
No, Steve
Witkoff.
Yeah, Witkoff.
He's I think it's either tomorrow or the next day. Very interesting.
And everything will come out really good.
So, but just to fire through this real quick. Oh, you brought up this one, so we'll just go past it. This was FISA.
The man, the myth, the legend.
The man, the myth, the legend. We covered that, so we'll go past this. We did the no. Okay, I do want to cover this one. This is 1821. This is August 6th.
Tomorrow's Delta.
This is tomorrow's Delta. Important to understand prior to next. And these are the two articles. Let me bring up this one first. I think I might have one backwards. Yeah, so it's this one first. So the first memo is this one. Well, here, let me read it to you guys so you can see. Important to understand prior to context, and it's two links, both from the intelligence house uploaded files. One's a memo and one's the FISA. And so real quick on this one, it says memo key points. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to go through the first part. Overview process. The committee has made this memo public due to the American people's right to know this information. The committee, which is responsible for overseeing the activities of the intelligence community, hopes the publication of this information will help inform the public about abuses that have occurred at the DOJ and FBI and spurred needed reform and accountability at those agencies so that similar abuses will not occur under any administration, Democratic or Republican. Is that not the shit that we see happening right now?
It is.
Let's go to the next one, and I'll put the links in the chat if you guys want to read the whole things. They are pretty interesting. The next one, again, U.S. House of Representatives, FISA Title I summary. It says, title of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Acts governs the targeting of foreign powers or agents of foreign powers for electronic surveillance by the U.S. government. Agents of foreign powers can either powers can be either U.S. persons or non-U.S. persons. If the agent of a foreign power is a U.S. person, the government must show that the U.S. person is engaging in espionage, terrorism, or sabotage by or on behalf of a foreign power that involves a violation of the criminal statute. They're playing right into what they're going to come after them right here.
That's right.
That's exactly what this is, Josh.
And at the end of the day, if they don't, you got RICO. But this is falling directly under all of this. Which post was that?
This one is tomorrow's Delta 1821.
I bet you get a post at 6:21 p.m. tomorrow.
It wouldn't surprise me, brother. It wouldn't surprise me. So then going to August 9th, there's 5 posts here.
So you know what I do? I do this all the time, Alpha, and we're going to do it tonight. So if anybody's listening out there, Trump or Scavino or anybody from the Q team, how about we get a post tomorrow at 1821 signifying that Delta with context in the post pertaining to the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. And we'll see if they're listening.
That'd be very nice to see if you guys are doing that. I wanted to go into the next couple of days to see if there was anything that caught our eye. There's August 9th was there's nothing on August 8th, which I found very interesting because that's the date of the raid on Mar-a-Lago. But we go to August 9th. Yeah, posts. There's 5 of them, and they're all fairly short because I'm not going to go through the one that has all the kill brackets in it. But 1830, post 1830, August 9th, the Clinton Foundation, and then with the foundation number. You go to 1829, spy op, and then of course, as you're saying, has a bunch of stuff that's in there. But I'll read this part. What assets people were placed spy in POTUS campaign? Why did the news cycle drop the investigation? Think several. What if those placed are being investigated by BM? Plants need water. What if others placed connect future? What if Nellie Orr previously worked on the farm? She's been brought up multiple times. Her husband's Bruce Orr.
Mm-hmm.
The start, public justification to proceed clean. I found that one spicy. Then, of course, we go to this one that me and you have played before. So
that's it.
Yeah, let me fire this one up.
That's the start.
And here it is. It's 8 seconds. You guys can't hear I'm laughing because I don't have it set to the Chrome tab. But nonetheless, phenomenal. And then when you get there, comfy. Now, if you replace that F with the letter that's right off to the side of it,
Comey.
Previews are over. Showtime. And then the last one, past 24 hours, Nunes attack sample. And it's a bunch of articles that talk about everything. And then it comes down, coordinated effort to silence, remove, notice a pattern, echo chamber conspiracy. These people are sick. U.S. Air Force B-52 precision bombs.
Well, and precision bombs are the coordinated release of declassified intelligence, which builds the foundation of the case, of which then the House Intelligence Committee is going to have the investigations in the Epstein Foundation, which is the keystone, which is going to bring it all together. And over the course of the next 6 months, which is going to go very, very, very fast, people, it's all going to come out. It's fucking happening. We are into the storm right now.
So 4 days away. 4 days away for the Clinton Foundation. Fire off going real fast. August 10th. There's just one. Or this is the one that I picked. I don't know if there was
that's the one that I told you was the timestamp from Trump the other day.
Yes. And this is the one that plays that video that we saw at the beginning of the show. So we won't go into that one again. August 11th. This is a day after. Twitter article from NBC News. Do you believe in coincidences or truth to power? So then we go into here. Oh, so just so you guys know, what is so let me set this one up real quick because there is something I wanted to cover here. Who deleted all their tweets 2 days ago?
Well, James Comey locked his account, deleted his tweets. You had John Brennan. You had who was the other one? The important
Peter Strokes.
Peter Strauss. Yeah, Peter Strauss. Well, he did his in 2024. He locked his account and deleted him in 2024. But Comey was the most recent one after the 87 or 48 or whatever. The 48,
because he started blocking everybody.
47, 87, yeah.
A few days ago, he started to block everybody that was bringing it up. That was the big thing that happened because he blocked me, blocked a lot of us that were like, you could delete all your posts. We have it all. And rather than engage.
Isn't that awesome that James Comey blocked you? That means he physically went in there and took your name.
No, not Comey. Peter did.
Oh, Peter. Well,
yeah,
still.
Peter. Well, still.
Isn't it
still
great?
yeah.
Yeah, he blocked me, too, a year ago. But isn't it funny that they literally went into your profile, looked at it, and said block because they read their comment? I love that.
Yeah, shit. I had a shit grin smirk on my face. But The reason I bring that up, and like I said, and he started blocking us, is because when you click on this NBC article or Twitter post, this is what it comes to: how to delete old tweets.
There you go.
And when you fire through the comments, it's awesome because everybody in there's like, you can delete it. We have it all. We got it. Like, it just people just they went ham on them. So again, I wanted to bring it up. That's going to come on the 11th of August. If we go here to August 11th, yeah, this is more. We'll bypass it because there's just a lot on that one. Actually, no. Sorry. I don't want to bypass it. Sorry, Josh. This one, because I want us to read something. We might have to go shorter on our call-in time tonight, folks. But this is what's interesting. I was going through here and I saw Iron Eagle, right? 1848, August 11th. And so that made me say, we've seen Iron Eagle on here several times. What's the play here? Here's the plane where we covered on episode 1, the plane that did the Q and the island, everything that you're telling us about with that one. But post 1848, dated August 11th, says Iron Eagle Q. So when I went to Wiki, because I just wanted to see there's got to be more there than we've probably seen before. And I'll just read this brief paragraph, and then I'm going to go to what I have highlighted. Iron Eagle is a 1986 action film directed by Sidney J. Furay, who co-wrote the screenplay with Kevin Elders and starring Jason Gedrick and Lou Gossett Jr. The film is unfavorably compared to the similarly themed Top Gun, released the same year. It is the first installment of the Iron Eagle film series and was followed by 3 sequels: Iron Eagle 2, Aces, Iron Eagle 3, and Iron Eagle on the Attack, with Gossett being the only actor to appear in all 4 films. And so I went through it and I was like, some interesting. But then I got to this part right here. According to writer-director Sidney Furay, the film's working title was Junior Eagle. Fury and co-writer Kevin Elders were inspired by the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. And why did I find that interesting? Because if you go to the White House Post today, it's when Trump was doing the conference today, they gave him a gold, a silver, and a bronze medal from the 84 Olympics. Oh. Now, if you say, maybe that's just a coincidence, maybe you're reaching. Well, the White House posted this at 3:52, so 6:52 East Coast time, 1852. And when I went to 1852, it brings us to August 11th, which is where the post from Iron Eagle is fired up in the beginning that started this whole thing. So it makes itself come full circle. And in this one, it reads, OMG, what did Michelle Bachmann do to her hair? I thought I stumbled on the ad for Rise of Planet of the Apes. It's Bill Maher's post. And it says, haha, that's why we added in here the hypocrisy. And then he goes to the post and takes it to Bill Maher. So it just, the entire thing went full circle with Iron Eagle and the Dape stance, bro. So I think there is some more digging to be done there, but it's at least justifying, yes, there's a linkage here. Now find it so you can see why we're just
so and it explains people some of the things in the context of the symbolism that Q talks about. When you talk about Iron Eagle, the storyline plot is the father's a pilot, gets shot in enemy lines, I think it's Russia, and he goes into enemy lines when his father's down to save his father. Okay? Really important. Now, let me ask you this. Do we know of any hero that tried to go and figure out the truth about his father and go and save his father through enemy lines after, his father was taken down by the enemy? And maybe he was taken out himself, who was also a pilot?
I'm trying to think.
Let's say that someone's father was killed, and that the son grew up to be an excellent pilot, because he was.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. I think.
And he ran for Senate to redeem his family, to avenge his father behind enemy lines, and was killed because of it. Who's that guy? Do you know who that is? JFK Jr.
You gave me goosebumps. Once it clicked, you gave me goosebumps, bro. I said, oh, shit. I see exactly where he's going with this.
Now, Godfather 3. Understand what it is. powerful family controls the Vatican and then a large criminal syndicate throughout the world. P controls Soros. Pope controls Soros. Who controls P? Family Y. Who's family Y? Rothschilds, Orsini, 1860. The Vatican is going down. The Orsini family and the Colonna family come in, the black nobility. They save the Vatican by issuing loans directly through the Rothschild family. The Rothschild and the Orsinis, family Y, takes over control of the Vatican. Godfather 3, Soros, the Godfather. We'll cover that next week, guys. Trust me. Like I said, nobody does Q like us.
Just because I saw a couple people in the chat, and I'll answer this because it's important, and I have it up on the screen, so it makes it easy. Anyways, this comes from WGN TV, but if you guys want the names of the people that got subpoenaed in order, first one on deck will be William Barr on August 18th. Second one on deck is Attorney General Alberto Gonzalez, August 26th. Next one is Attorney General Jeff Sessions, August 28th. Next one is former FBI Director Robert Mueller, September 2nd, followed by former Attorney General Loretta Lynch on September 9th, followed by Eric Holder on the 30th, followed by Merrick Garland on the 2nd, followed by James Comey on the 7th, and then Hillary Clinton on the 9th. And then to wrap up that whole entire debacle on the 14th will be President Clinton. Now, I would speculate that the vast majority of all those, with the exception of maybe 2, are going to plead the 5th. That's my speculation of what I think here. I don't know. We yet to see on that, and I'll let you comment on that if you want, Josh.
No, I'm good. I'm still going on the Iron Eagle thing.
Well, then let me bring it here to this. Again, Dan Scavino, this is the thing. Now, this plays into a whole thing that I talked about last night, but something else that I found really interesting with this is, again, so this is 11:49 a.m. is this post right here. So actually, you know what? That's going to take us too long. So I'll save that one for next week. And let me fire off into, let me see. Trump's envoy. No, we talked about that. We talked about the August 6th. Okay, this one I do want to bring up here. And then we'll wrap up. And then we'll do our ads, and then we'll take the calls because we're about to breach that 90-minute mark here. So MAGA Brittany puts out Done in 30. And it shows Scavino's first post. And I want to get your thoughts on this, Josh, because there's a lot here. And I mean, a bunch of different perspectives that can be taken. So you have post number 1 on July 2nd, 2025 at 8:56 p.m. East Coast time.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a month later, August 2nd, 2025, 8:58 p.m. So 2 minutes later. So you have 1 and then you have 2. Now, if you go to Scavino's post, I think it was yesterday, the day before, he had the bullseye, the hourglass, and then I think the FA.
Find out.
Yeah, he had 3 distinct markers on there. So it was marker 1, marker 2, marker 3. So if that's the case, you have July 2nd, and then a month later, August 2nd, and then a third one would bring us into September 2nd, potentially, is where I'm going here. So if we go to September 2nd, post 2058 brings us back to Ezra Cohen Watnick, bridges connecting people.
Wait, isn't that the decode I did last week with Scavino, where I said that Ezra Cohen Watnick is going to come in as Trump's new national security advisor?
And if you go to the article, it's Ezra Cohen Watnick coming back into a position. And so on September 2nd, are we going to potentially see news that Ezra Cohen Watnick's going to fly in and come in the way you're speculating here?
Yep, and I said it last week. I mean, last week or the week before, we talked about Scavino's timestamp literally was calling in that Ezra Cohen Watnick was going to be returning. I got the post on my X account.
So there's that one. And then the last one I wanted to cover, just because it's too good to pass up, folks. If you're unaware, the Democrats that fled Texas fled into Illinois, where they are all hiding in a building called the Q Center.
No, isn't that irony?
literally. And I had to go research it myself because I was like, no, there's no way it's called that. I have verified it. That is what it's called. It really does exist. That's where they're being held up. Legitimately called the Q Center, folks. I don't know if you got anything to say about that, bro.
I think we're about to see the return of Q. I think that things are divinely inspired at this point, and that there are no coincidences.
There are not. So let me stop the share on that. We're going to get into the ads, and then when we come back from the ads, actually, before we do the ads, so everybody you can start prepping your phones or your computers while you're watching. Let me bring on this. This is going to give you directions on how to do it. So let me get this ready over here. Very simple, folks. On your phone or on your computer, you're going to go to callme.rode.com, and this is all free. This is what Rodecaster has done for the devices that we use. So step one, you're going to go to callme.rode.com, and you're going to enter tonight's code. This is a code for tonight's show. This code's going to change every time we do a show. And tonight's code is JDSHDJ. And then you just hit call. That's all you got to do. So one, we're going to go to commercials. So
it's almost an anagram.
So once you get there, just hold off on hitting call before you come in, and then and you get to put in whatever name you want. So if you want to put in your screen name, so we can match it up with what you guys have in the live chat. You want to use your real name, you want to use a funny name. Completely up to you on what. It's
almost a palindrome. Palindrome, not anagram. Palindrome.
So
the same thing backwards and forward, except for the SH in the middle. So if it's JDSSDJ, it's the same thing backwards and forward, but it's not.
Almost. It was almost there. Almost there. So again, and I'll put it up when we come back from the ad. But if you guys want to take a quick screenshot and you can do it, it's just the way your brain works. I get it, bro, and I love it. So with that, hold on, let me set up so I can do this ad read for you guys. Let's get to these commercials, and then when we come back, we will take calls. So first on deck, you guys, your Patriot store isn't just a shop, it's a movement. Family owned, they're all about faith, freedom, and unapologetic patriotism. You'll find curated gear, apparel, flags, morale patches, challenge coins, and custom designs that celebrates America, our troops, and traditional values. No woke nonsense, just truth, liberty, and grit. Your Patriot store supports veterans, first responders, and small American businesses while outfitting the silent majority with gear that speaks loud. Fast shipping, honest service, and no gimmicks, just real gear for real patriots. Visit your Patriot store at badlandsmedia.tv/Patriot store for 20% off your entire order. No code required. That's badlandsmedia.tv/Patriot store. And then next on deck, you guys, is Rise.
Howdy, Badlanders. Looking for something new to grab from your friends at Badlands Media and Rise Attire? Summertime is here. We got you covered. All new tank tops for men and women, featuring new iterations of the Devolution design in black, red, white, and even blue and green digital camo. Sick. We got them for Psywar and Clown World too. How about these bad boys? Psywar, Clown World, and Devolution beach towels to help you spark up a conversation with your new best friend or future spouse at the pool. And by popular demand, we've got all new athletic women's leggings that'll have you red-pilling all the ladies in your Pilates class, whether they like it or not. Too bad. This is Badlands, baby, and we're strapped. Get some and support the new media parallel economy as much as fucking possible at badlandsmedia.tv/rise.
Boom, there you go. Let me put this back on the screen so everybody can see. Let me go and put the directions so people know how to call in. And at this point, now, as soon as you guys get this figured out, you can start calling in. And here we go. We got the first one on deck.
Caller, you're on the air.
Caller, you're on the air. You're the first one to call on Defcon 0. Let us know your name. Where are you calling from? Oh, he hung up, so let's go to the next one.
Got scared.
He did. Hold on.
Welcome to Defcon 0 on Badlands Media. Everybody out there, we got our first callers calling into the show right now. Caller, what's your name?
We got a lot of background noise from you, so if you can mute your TV or whatever it is.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing good. What's your name? What state you calling from?
Trey, I'm calling from Texas.
Gotcha. And so let me just give me a second, Trey. Michael, I hung up on you by accident. Sorry. I realized that another one was calling. This is cool. We're not getting the call waiting beeping anymore, but I can see the other calls coming in. So you guys stay on the line. I'm going to answer it. And it looks like we lost Trey. So
I'm still here.
Oh, you're still there. Okay.
Yep.
Well, go ahead and ask your question. And just so you guys know, this is the first time we're using it on here live, so there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But go ahead. What's your question? What do you got to say, brother?
Okay. First, I want to say, man, y'all are doing great. Love it. I've watched a lot of shows that pertain to Q. Y'all are definitely top notch. Y'all got it down. I believe Q is definitely, coming to its, precipice. And what I want to know is do you believe that Hillary Clinton will be arrested in October, like the keyboard says?
October surprise. Now, some funny thing that you mentioned that. So, by the way, for anybody out there, I'm not screaming. I'm excited. Okay. just so you know, I'm not screaming. I'm just really, really excited. I want you to go in here and look at this real quick, because this is going to answer your question to some of this stuff, because what we have coming up is called the October surprise. Did you notice how Oversight Committee is compelling the following individuals to appear before depositions through issued subpoenas? Hillary Clinton, what date? October 9th.
October 9th. Yep.
Just saying.
And I'm excited. It's just like it's I've heard Alpha say it before. The keyboards were going in reverse, and it's showing itself. It's so awesome.
Well, appreciate it, brother. We're gonna get to another call so we can get a couple people in there. But thank you for calling in. Let's take this next one right here.
Thank you all. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, brother.
All right. All right, caller, you are live on the air with us. State your name and where you calling from. Let me see. Connecting.
I was able to mute it. And by the way, just so everybody kind of know, is what are the odds that there's a Q post pertaining to Hillary Clinton on October 9th? No coincidences. Roger that, Madam Secretary, Hillary Rodham Clinton, classified state, Clinton Foundation, Soros, journalist, director, Africa, Saudi Arabia, SAPS, China, Russia, Uranium One, Hussein, director, Benghazi. Nothing is truly ever deleted. Threats, blackmail, and bribes. What day is she testifying? October 9th.
All right. Do we have a caller on the air? Okay. It doesn't seem like we do. So let me try. Caller, if you're on the air, go ahead and say hi.
Yes.
Okay, there we are. There's someone. Go ahead and let us know your name and what state are you calling from? No, can't hear him no more.
Just so that I think there's something going on with it.
Yeah, I wonder. If, okay, no, you're there. No, go ahead. What do you want to tell us?
Well, my question is for Alpha. You said there would be two who did not plead the fifth. I believe one of those would be Sessions. Who would be the other?
So this is speculation. The two people I think that are not going to plead the fifth is Barr and Sessions. I think we will be hearing from both those gentlemen. And like I said, that's just speculation. That's not anything anybody told me.
You're definitely going to hear Jeff Sessions, Bill Barr.
Okay.
But I think that I think that's going to actually not plead the fifth.
Who?
Someone who took the immunity deal, which will be the first arrest, which is going to be James Comey.
Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that playing out. Anything else that you wanted to say before we let you go? Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's see. Jesus, this thing, there's so many names coming through, bro. I love the fact that everybody's trying to call in. Let's go to Tommy Pickles.
Tommy Pickles.
Tommy Pickles, are you on the phone? Was I able to connect with you?
Yeah, brother. What's up, man?
What's up?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Love the name, brother. Love the name.
Oh, yes. What's up, Josh? We never met in person. It's Cookie or Cam.
What's up, brother?
What's
How we
up,
doing?
Cam?
Yeah, I changed my my Twitter handle to Tommy Pickles because that's my that's my spirit animal.
Right on.
No, so I wanted great show, by the way, guys. I fucking love this show. Sorry for cursing, but whatever. Who cares?
Nah, you're good.
So remember that post earlier from Scavino where Trump was on the roof and he was yelling down?
Right.
So he says, "Peter, you look good, Peter. What about stroke, bro?" Is that the Peter he's saying, "I see you"? Peter, you look good. He's obviously talking to Juicy, but
I mean, it could. I mean, it's feasible. I would have to know who else was in that area just to make sure. But I mean,
Well, it also signifies, he's like, I can see you, as in,
yeah,
I can see you, I can hear you, 40,000 foot view, baby.
and he literally says, "You look good, Peter," as in like we can see everything that you're doing. He's obviously talking to Peter Ducey because it was the press corps.
Gotcha.
But like I'm telling you, man, there's double meanings, bro. It sparked it earlier when you said it.
Listen, I like it. I like it. I'm game for it if that's what he meant.
I love it.
Real quick,
I was
Cam.
just calling in to say what's up.
Are you doing it from a phone or are you doing it from a device?
So I'm on my phone, so
Okay.
I'll just tell the callers what to do. So you go to the callmeroadie.com, callme.road.com, then you type in the code that Alpha told you, and then there's this thing that says connect to the call, and you click it, and it'll say connecting until Alpha picks up the call. So you have to stay like just sitting on there. And what I did was I had the show on, and then when I saw that it was changing colors to connecting, I walked outside.
Right on. Well, appreciate it, brother. So with that, we'll go to the next one.
See you, Cam.
Later, y'all.
Later on, brother. There are so many that are coming through. Now, one thing that I wish Rode would do here is after each caller, it wants me to rate the interaction, 5 stars, 4 stars.
Right.
So it's giving me this delay that's between them. So if people are wondering, so here we go. Caller, you're on the air. Can you hear us? Because I wonder, it's probably connecting them, so I want to give them a minute. Caller, are you there? All right, we'll go to the next one then. Let's go to this one. Caller, are you there? Can you hear us? Yeah, we'll keep testing it. All right, let's go to the next one. There's no shortage of calls coming in. Let's see. This one says connecting. Dang, man. I got to figure this one out. There is a way to disable the call waiting, but I wasn't sure if I did that, if it was going to do it. Let's see. Caller, do we have you on the line? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right on.
Hi.
Okay. What's your name and what state you calling from?
Yes, my name is Lisa. I'm in Texas.
What's up, Lisa?
Hey, how are y'all doing? I love your show. I am like I'm the one that since your very first show, I had a pad and paper and just start writing notes like crazy, just like trying to, like with the history of Q, that just opened my eyes. So I love your show. I love everything. It's fascinating. I do keep up with a lot of stuff anyways, but still it's that extra oomph that your show has, the extra dynamic, and that other shows just don't have. So that's something I do appreciate. So thank you so much. Love the show. I know it's going to be a bigger success than it already is right now, even though it's new, but I'm sharing it to everybody. So I'm sure everyone is. Question. I know Russia with all the quiet stuff with the, submarines and everything. I don't think we're like having issues with Russia and all that. But just wanted to know what that's about as far as like, are we trying to confuse the enemy, the deep state with that? Or are we trying to what are we trying to do here? Just kind of curious if you have any input on that.
Yeah. I do. So 3 weeks ago, the United States military moved their new gravity bombs to the UK. And this was kind of weird. We haven't seen moves like that since 2008 of U.S. military arsenals. Now Trump is deploying 2 nuclear submarines, quote unquote, to Russia. Russia's not the enemy. He's not taking Medvedev seriously. I actually think they're working in tandem. Trump's deployment of these nuclear submarines has to do with something else, much more serious and severe. And as you've been seeing the rhetoric build up, China is potentially going to invade Taiwan. Alpha, if you know the stuff that I've talked to you about, think about the setup for all that. I can't really get into it too much, but just imagine that you want your U.S. nuclear arsenal pre-positioned around the world for specific reasons, but you don't want to tell your enemy why you're doing it.
Agree with that. The other thing I'm going to do now, you won't be able to see this on your phone because you're on the call with us, but I'll read it to you. I'm going to bring something up on the board, and this is post 2349. It's dated October 5th of 2018, and on there you have a submarine, and it's the picture is titled Red October 2. That's the JPEG. It says double meanings exist, but one of the reasons I really like this, it says twitter.com/Defcon. W alerts that was on there, and I found that pretty cool, especially double meanings.
Now, when you do a reverse image search on that, or at least back in 2018 when you did, now that's October 2018. That's October 5th. That the original post was October 5th, 2018. That would be the Richard B. Russell submarine.
And so when we go into there, it says future news highlights. Note, quote, the hunt for was dropped. Details matter. And then you come down here and it says, and so it begins. How do you start a war? Markers matter. Playbook fail. And so wanted to bring that up just because I thought that one's cool because it had Defcon in it. With that, anything from the last couple of shows that you liked or that you wanted clarification on, or something that maybe you wanted to ask us about before we go to the next call?
Oh yeah, just a lot of great information that I've had with your show. Just such a great information, just connecting everything, I guess. The first show really laid the foundation for, if anybody is watching this right now, like they're on the third, just watching it for the first time, I highly recommend everybody go to the very first show, The History of Q, because everything grows from there. Because I mean, if I were to watch a show and not watch your first show, and I like how it kind of goes in a timetable in a sense, then I would be completely lost. So that's just anything for the callers that I would recommend is to go into that. Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely fascinating, and how it feels like we're going to move into the justice phase really soon, and everybody's excited about that, and a lot of psyops. Like, oh, another thing, a lot of psyops taking place, like and with the actors and stuff, and then the Madami or whatever. I looked up his information, very little information that you can find, and I think of him as an actor or psyop person to kind of scare people about communism, because like I looked at his mother, and she is a producer, film producer, and Denzel Washington was one of her movies, right? And then the father, he wrote a book called Good Muslim, Bad Muslim. And that I was like, oh, it talks about how the West corrupted the Muslim faith, huh? And yet they're showing on camera or in the news about how he's this radical Muslim and, won't go against his intifada comments. And, the Jews are the ones that are in New York that are supposed voters, and like all this crazy, like I'm communist and there's no communism roots in there. I mean, just a lot of stuff. So I'm keeping my eye out for all the different actors out there and that are trying to kind of keep everybody paying attention to what's going on in the movement. But thank you so much. I love your show.
I love you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We're going to try to get one more caller because we still got to do Rumble Rants. So let's get to the next one. Thank you for calling. And let's see if we can get Carl on here. Carl, are you on the phone with us?
I am.
Right on. I'm getting the hang of this, folks. Carl, you're going to...
First time here. So go ahead.
It is. You're going to be our last caller from tonight. And then we'll go into Rumble Rants. And like I said, as we go, I'll get a little bit better with this. But Carl, go ahead and what's your question? What do you got for us?
actually, my questions is a little bit out there, but it's something that dawned on me this weekend. And we've heard a lot of talk about how 44 from the time of his birth was, groomed for his position. And did you ever see the movie American Gangster?
Yes.
Mhm.
What if he's the American gangster? I know it's an out there question. I'm just saying.
It's not that out there, because I think hands down a lot of people would agree he's the Manchurian candidate. So, I mean, it fits the mold of what you're talking about anyways.
Well, there's, so many of the posts and everything like that said, there's no deals, there's no nothing, but, even in the movie, he didn't get out scot-free. He did serve time, but he dropped on everybody.
Here's
just wondering, just throwing it out there.
Here,
It's just something that dawned on me over the weekend, and I was like, that's interesting. And then you think of the name of the movie, and I was like, I wonder if that is anything to think about or just like put out of my mind.
Here's what I'll say, and this is anecdotal to my own experience. When a lot of these major cases that we would work, you would think that the head honcho, that the main guy, these are the tough guys, because this is kind of what the movies lead us to believe.
Right.
They were the quickest one to fold on the entire operation.
Okay.
It was usually these lower level people that were the ones that were loyal and kept their mouths shut. And it was the ones at the upper echelon that were just like, I want to get the deal because I only know there's a certain amount of deals that are going to be made and I'm trying to save my bacon. So,
Right.
do you see Obama dropping dimes on everybody so he can walk away with maybe 20
I think
years?
that it's very, very possible.
100%.
Now,
it's just again, it's that you're the first people I'm asking this to. It's just been floating around in my head since this weekend. And I was like, I wonder if that's a possibility.
well, I think that if he's a gangster, he's not the Don. That's Godfather 3. That's George Soros, right?
Right.
But I think that there's a possibility that he rats on all of them. And I think that's what, do you remember Trump at the funeral, Carter's funeral? Obama sat next to him and they were talking, and Scavino posted that kind of mimicking of, we should meet, we should talk. How about a game of golf? I think they met. I think they talked. I think Barack gave it all. Because we know deals were made with Biden. I put this out there on my show that deals were made with Biden. This is why Trump's saying Biden was not present in the White House. He didn't know what was going on. He's doing that because Biden made deals and allowed Trump to get elected by basically getting Kamala in there. And there's this whole situation that occurs. We can actually talk about that next week or something. But, man, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, 100%.
No worries. I appreciate you taking the call. Thanks, guys.
All right, brother.
Yeah,
Love the show.
All right. So with that, folks,
Well, hold on. Right before we get there, I've got to bring this up.
Go for it, man. Fire off.
This. What were you just talking about on a post?
Oh, which one, man?
You just brought up this post, right? The submarine, right?
Yeah, the submarine one with
Scroll
Defcon.
Scroll up. That one right there, October 5th, 2349, right?
Right.
You getting ready for this shit?
Hit me with it.
Okay, number one, Dan Scavino has been on a posting frenzy on X. The first post that kind of produces this secession is this one, where it's a dude making popcorn. For everybody out there, dude making popcorn. Now, what was the old timer there just talking about? He was talking about people talking, right? Well, this timestamp is 9:08 p.m. I'm on Central Time, so 21:08, 9:08, right?
Right.
21:08, 9:08. So we go here, and is this Scavino telling us that they're talking? 21:08, right there. Military intelligence, blah blah. Fly Rod Rosenstein fly. Desperate people do desperate things. It is during this period of time that surveillance pays off. We're just talking about Trump seeing everybody from the roof. When does a bird sing? Well, that's one. And Scavino's telling you, get the popcorn. Right?
Here's what I'll say. There's a thing called tickling the wire. When you know you have your surveillance in position, it will drop a major headline in the case knowing that it's going to generate traffic from the the targets that you're running surveillance on, whether it's emails, text message, phone lines. You drop a major headline that's going to stir it up, right, tickle the wire, and then you start listening. So when does a bird sing? It can also be interpreted as they panic, so they start calling each other, or other people start calling.
That's right.
Hey, you better not say this. You better not say that. And all you're really doing for the investigator is you're getting to tie in what this phone tree looks like and who these people are. And you also get to show the linkage, and you get to show when you're establishing a criminal enterprise, you get to show all these people working together. You get to show the nexus with this person to that person. So
they're calling out Rod Rosenstein right there. And you got to remember, they use the cue boards too. So the next one is we got this one, which is 2144, 9:44 p.m. Okay. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Picture of Donald Trump. Now, what are the odds that goes to a Q post that's dealing with Trump? What are the odds? Band of Anoms. There was a time when the world asked ordinary men to do extraordinary things. What did we just say about Trump? Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. There was a time when the world asked ordinary men to do extraordinary things. The Band of Anoms. Look at right here. We serve at the pleasure of the president. There's no coincidences with that. But guys, it gets fucking better. Scavino went on to post 2 more posts after this. Maybe he's posted more, but I'm only going to do, for the sake of time, the next 2. The next 2, when I go to Dan Scavino, okay, are retweets, old retweets. The first one is John Brennan, November 4th, 2024. He puts a clown. The other one is James Comey,
hold on, we
August
can't
23rd. Oh, shit.
All right, go to the first one again.
Yep, the first one, Scavino puts a clown picture right here, and it's a
Right.
John Brennan tweet. The next one is a James Comey tweet. Okay?
Right.
Now, I'm going to go through the timestamps. But you understand what we just laid out there. We serve at the pleasure of Donald Trump. When does a bird sing? Now we have the first 2 investigations announced by the FBI were who? James Comey, John Brennan. Who did I say was going to be the person to talk? James Comey. Notice that Brennan gets a clown. Comey gets what? Trump sunshine. Oh, well, let's go through the timestamps. Are you ready for this one? 11:48 p.m.
No,
Wait, that's 23:48, isn't it, Alpha?
that's 23:48.
Now, why is that important? Because that's the submarine. Double meaning exists. 23:48. The rogue submarine, Red October, Hunt for was dropped because it was found and destroyed. What are we talking about? June 10th, 2018, when John Brennan did the operation with the deep state using the submarine to launch the missile at Air Force One when it was leaving the G7 summit on its way to North Korea. Clown John Brennan leads to this post right here, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump with the submarine that was decommissioned on Ketron Island in Washington State, the same island that the Q-400 on August 10th flew into from the hijacked airplane, where the hijacker's name was what? The U.S. was Richard B. Russell, which is the name of that fucking submarine, Richard B. Russell. And I know that's a Russian sub, but there's context there with the Russian sub. But this is what this whole situation was all about. So he points to clown John Brennan, rogue submarine that tried to assassinate Trump. And then with the next one, it's posted at 12:07. Well, let me validate that. So that was the John Brennan one. Oh man,
This got me fired up because this was a Defcon sub that I was excited about because she asked that
He
question.
posted the other one at 11:07 my time, so that's 12:07, right?
Right.
So post 12:07 on the boards probably isn't as impactful, but it's post number 7 on the boards, 0007.
Right.
And that was why wasn't HRC prosecuted for the emails? Put simply, Obama ultimately okayed by using the non-government ADDIE email to communicate with Clinton. Obama also had an alias along with each of his cabinet members. Therefore, indicting HRC would lead to indicting Obama and his cabinet, etc., which could never happen. Remember, he lied about knowing, but that ultimately came out in the dump. Poof. Now, why is this important? Now, this is the Comey timestamp 007 with Trump Sunshine. Why wasn't HRC prosecuted for the emails? Who was the one single authority that had the prosecutorial authority to prosecute Trump during that point in time? It would have been the FBI running the investigation. Who was the FBI director?
He's going to drop dimes on everybody.
And this is saying right here that Obama, remember when I was telling you earlier, there's going to be a series of emails that are going to drop. It's going to connect Seth Rich, CrowdStrike, Open Societies. This is it.
You know what?
Put
Dan,
simply, Obama ultimately okayed it.
I am changing my pick from Barr to Comey. It's going to be Sessions and Comey. Those are the two people that.
It's almost like Scavino's listening to us and he's like, "Here, guys, here's a few little hints for you."
Serious, bro. You're going to use the submarine that I was just talking about? Seriously?
Well, but it's also what we talked about in the last episodes.
Like, yeah, that got me pumped up, man.
Scavino, if you're listening, you got to give us a hint.
You got to give us a nod, man. Give us a nod. All right, I'm going to bring
Repost Alpha or myself, man.
I'm going to bring up there's no way they're going to do that, bro. It's game over. They do that. It's game over. Listen, Twitter will probably still take us down, or X. Now, here we go. Rumble Rant starting from the bottom. There's still time to get them in, you guys. We're live. We just hit the 2-hour mark. Let me make this a little bit bigger to read.
4,700 people watching on Rumble, guys. 2,000 from X and YouTube and everywhere else. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all the support.
And shout out to Micro Toolmaker. I had highlighted yours, gifted 10 subscriptions. So very much appreciate that. Thank you. I put that there so I wouldn't forget. So first coming in, $50 Rumble Rent, right on. CPete 70. I'll catch the replay in the morning. God bless you guys for breaking this down. For the simpletons, you are the best. Thank you for the support. $10 coming in from CO Guy 85, maybe Colorado Guy. Just wanted to thank you guys for keeping my days interesting. Badass dudes here. Thank you for that. $5 coming from Lee Walden. Good stuff, troop. Much appreciated, guys. And I'm of the belief that we will have live stream of the Gitmo trials. Will they be real of Memorex? Real or Memorex? Stay the course. We got a country to save. Where we go one, we go all. I would definitely like live stream. $20 come from a U.S. Advocate. Thanks so much. I love this show. It's everything I always knew and so much more, and brings everything into perspective and the pieces into place. Absolutely. $5 from 13. Tucker explained the surveillance Five Eyes was doing when he did a monologue in 2019 or 2020. When he had his show on Fox, he explained another country tracking him and then the FBI tracking by proxy. I do remember that. And I want to say it probably was 2019 because I think it was before the elections. But I remember that. Thanks for that one, all 13. $10 from Jamie Slayer 2. When does Suicide Weekend start?
It started with John McCain back in 2018. Rommel trials, people.
Next, another $50 one coming in from Reberhart 29. Only my second show to watch, but wow, you guys make it also clear to see. Revy_17. Definitely go watch the first one if you haven't had a chance to see the first one. I think that's really important to understand the foundation of how we got here. $5 coming in from Susan Del Bello. Alpha, I messaged your inbox on X last night. It was my awakening in 1994-ish. Time was honed by my shit detector. Saves a lot of time. I see integrity in you and Josh and your decodes and a few more. Thanks. And I try to get through all that stuff, you guys, but a lot of you guys coming through, plus they've weaponized it with bots and spam, so it makes it hard. So if a day or two passes and I haven't responded to you guys, bump it, just repost it, copy it so it can get back into there. Dealing with a lot of weaponized tools on these social media platforms. So my apologies for taking long, folks. Let's see. Next one coming in, $2 from Stuck Patriot. Hey guys, X22 gave props to Josh and Colonel Townsend recently. His normie audience now has the good stuff on their radars. That's right. $20 coming in from Nevada Night Owl. Another great show, guys. Thank you. $55 coming from Michael Toolmaker. Where we go one, we go all. Man, you guys are just sending us love tonight. So much appreciated. Thank you. 17 coming from Israel Freedom Fighter. Where has Jeff Sessions been?
Investigating the deep state.
Trust Sessions, folks. Trust Sessions. And that will wrap up The
$5 on YouTube from Peter Frederick with the thumb up. Thank you so much, Peter. Appreciate that.
It looks like we locked them all in there. You guys, we appreciate it very, very much. Do us a solid, since the content is free. Share it out. Smash the thumb, smash the heart, share it, tag people, no matter what platforms you're on. We just, holy smokes. I got to put this on the screen. Sorry, brother. You're not going to mind. $100 from Boom Diggity. Such a great
Boom Diggity
show. Holy smokes. No, there's a bunch of them that are in here. Oh, I guess I just had to hit scroll. Jesus. Alpha, don't be a slacker. There we go. Jesus. $2 from New Peru. Look at what Scavino posted at the same time you were talking about Comey. And I think that's what you just covered, because this was about 15 minutes ago.
He's watching.
$25 from Sanderson. Speechless. Thank you both. $1 Stuck Patriot. When does a bird sing? At dawn and at dawn. I will win. I will win. 17 coming in from Raveland. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. $5 from Rick Low 100. School is starting. Leave some crayons for the kids. You're gonna hit me in the gut, Rick. Listen. All right, and now that wraps it. I'm doing scroll, and that completes it. You guys kicked butt on the Rumble Rants tonight. Thank you guys for that. Josh, anything going on this week you want to let people know about, where they can find you?
Guys, go to my Rumble. It's if you can, firstly, if you're on X and watching, at Real Joshua Reid, it's right there on the moniker. You can see it, X at Real Joshua Reid. Give me a follow over there. Head on over to my Substack, redpillproject.substack.com. Subscribe over there, because I definitely put a lot of stuff out there. Head on over to alphawarrior.tv. Give Alpha a follow, as well as on X. His moniker on X is a little bit difficult. It's like X Alpha Dad some stuff, but you can find him on there. Just type in Alpha Warrior, find him. If you want to give my website a visit, redpills.tv, redpills.tv, as well as go to my Rumble. Rumble is rumble.com/c/redpillproject. And you can just search into Red Pill Project. You should find me. And I hope to see you guys there. We're going to be breaking down a lot of this week on my Daily Dose show. And Alpha and I will be back next week here on Badlands to talk more Defcon 0.
100%. The one thing that I'll plug for tonight is, prior to doing this show, I aired the show that I did with Sean Taylor. You guys go watch that. You want to see the revelations of Act Blue. You guys want to see what he's been working on the last couple months, especially when you guys realize who the people he is working with. And a lot of stuff you're seeing in headlines is absolutely the result of what he is doing. This man is putting his life on the line. They just went after his detectives that was over there in Millersville Police Department. So the TBI is actively going after him. He explains this on there. He did a phenomenal, I forget what you call that chart that has all the strings. Looks like, it's the digital.
We got to get him on my show.
Oh yeah, 100%. As a matter of fact, I'll shoot him a text and we'll do that ASAP, because everything right now is time sensitive. So you guys go watch that show. It wasn't very long. I think it was like an hour and 31 minutes. And that's over there on mine. So with that, you guys, God bless. Semper Fi. Where we go one, we go all. We'll see you next time.
Mr. Top.